Hello and welcome to Chesapeake Weekly Home Edition. So today we got to talk about tolls. I know they're nobody's favorite thing, but they are sometimes a necessary evil in order to get updated, safe, efficient roadways. Now, the city of Chesapeake is actually the only municipality in the Commonwealth to administer our own tolls, and this is really good for two reasons. So first of all, there are a couple of projects that never would have happened because there was no funding if it hadn't have been for us placing tolls on the roadway. Of course, that's the Chesapeake Expressway and the Dominion Boulevard Veterans Bridge. Now, both roadways, when they were constructed, were in desperate need of improvement, but there was simply no funding to make those improvements. So that's the one good thing. The other good thing is that by administering it locally, we're able to put those tolls at the lowest possible rate. So keeping it local helps to keep those rates down. Now, of course, as with anything, there is a scheduled toll increase in the toll schedule. There's one coming up for the Chesapeake Expressway. So I brought in Public Works Director Earl Sorey to the studio for an episode of Peak Life to talk all about tolls.
So in 2012, City Council adopted a long-term rate schedule for both the Chesapeake Expressway and the Veterans Bridge. And that was really arrived at based on traffic projections, historical data. The consultants, we have a traffic and revenue consultant that looks at the value of time and people's willingness to pay. We have financial advisors that look at the long-term forecasting. And because even though we have a long-term rate schedule, we simply don't follow that blindly. Every year we go back and we reevaluate and we make sure that what we're doing is appropriate. And we oftentimes revise projections. So obviously there was a COVID impact. Mm-hmm. And with that, we saw significant reductions, particularly early on when we were trying to figure all of this out, and people simply were not traveling. So that had a tremendous impact on our revenue stream as well. Now, since then, we've seen traffic come back very strong, and particularly on the Chesapeake Expressway, those folks that may not be flying because they don't want to put themselves in jeopardy, they're driving and they're taking trips closer to home. So we're seeing those volumes come back. Dominion is still running a little bit behind, and because that's the commuter route, and there's less people commuting now, and there's still some facilities closed. So, but we're starting to see that come back stronger, and post-pandemic, we certainly expect that our traffic and revenue numbers are going to be right back where the projections said they would be.
You can find that interview in its entirety at youtube.com/Chesapeake Television. And I really hope you'll take the time to watch it, and hopefully we answered a few of your frequently asked questions about tolling. It truly is the Public Works Department's mission to remain transparent about all the toll facilities that they administer. And you can find out more about the Chesapeake Expressway specifically at ChesapeakeExpressway.com. Now, while I had Earl in the studio, I also wanted to ask him about another hot project going on right now, and that's the Centerville Turnpike Bridge. So here's the latest on that.
So a major milestone was accomplished at the end of March for the Centerville Turnpike Bridge repair, and a lot of the equipment that was damaged simply doesn't sit on a shelf somewhere, so it had to be fabricated off-site. So all of those parts that were fabricated were delivered on March the 29th, so they are on site now. The contractor is busy repairing and replacing those parts, and so that project it continues. But that was a major milestone. We simply weren't sure how quickly that fabrication would go, particularly in the COVID setting. There's been a lot of supply chain issues, so we're on track for an opening the end of May. As we've been reporting, I'm confident that we're going to meet that goal. We're looking at a feasibility study of what a replacement bridge might look like for that facility in another 15 to 20 years. And so, we've opened up a virtual citizens information meeting where we're soliciting feedback from the surrounding community and potential commuters. We'll take that information and kind of look at the options available, try to pare that down to a preferred option and present that to City Council. And really the goal of that is to have a plan in place so that we can start pulling together a financing plan and looking at a lot of the federal and state programs to see just how we could build that bridge. And people have to remember, the feasibility studies for the Veterans Bridge They started in the late 90s, and we opened that bridge in 2016. So the timelines could be very similar.
Stay up to date on all things Centerville Turnpike at cityofchesapeake.net/Centerville. Well, you drive, you text, you pay. That's this year's campaign from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration's for Distracted Driving Month. Now, distracted driving is a very serious issue, and you can see it right in the numbers that come out of the NHTSA. Between 2012 and 2019, over 26,000 people died in crashes that involved distracted drivers, and the figures get worse every year. So here are some tips to stay safe while on the road. If you're expecting a text message or need to send one, pull over and park your car in a safe location. Once you're safely off the road and parked, then it's safe to text. Ask your passenger to be your designated texter. Allow them access to your phone to respond to calls or messages. Do not engage in social media scrolling or messaging while driving. And cell phone use can be habit forming. So if you're struggling to not text and drive, put your phone out of reach. Put it in the trunk, the glove box, or the back seat until you safely arrive at your destination. Distracted driving is deadly, so please be cautious, be alert, and put those phones away when you're on the road. Well, the Public Utilities Department wants you to know about a problem that they're finding within the Chesapeake sewer system. It's clogged pipes, and there is one major culprit, those quote-unquote flushable wipes. Guess what? They're not flushable, and they're wreaking havoc on our sewer system. So while it is definitely an expensive and gross issue, it is something that's easy to solve if we all work together to keep those quote unquote flushable, I'm saying that because they are not flushable, keep those wipes out of your toilet. Here's Katie Cullifer from AskHRGreen.org with more.
It's important that we don't flush wipes, even if they're labeled flushable, for a number of reasons. Number one, our sewer system is designed to handle really just our personal contributions and water. When you flush anything else, like these wipes, they're not made to break down like regular toilet paper is. And they end up staying in the sanitary sewer system. They can get clogged in your pipes, which can cause a backup in your home, or further down the line, they can clog the pipes in our municipal system, getting caught in the system that is used to carry that wastewater away to a treatment facility where it's cleaned. Those backups can cause sewer overflows in the street, and that sewage can get into our local waterways, and that's really important environmental health risk. So the best thing that we can do as residents is keep those wipes and other items like dental floss, cotton swabs, hygiene, personal hygiene products. Those items go in the trash. We only flush our personal contributions.
So please don't use your toilet as a trash can. The only thing that should go down your toilet is toilet paper and your personal business. Gross, yes, I know, but it's even more gross if you have a backup into your house, or if the backup gets further down the line within the city's system and then causes a very costly repair within the entire city system. So do your part, keep all those wipes out of your toilet. Don't use your toilet like a trash can. And then we're gonna get through this together and all play a part in keeping our sewer systems clear and safe. There's a really cool new event coming up next month thanks to a partnership between the Chesapeake Parks Recreation and Tourism Department, Keep Suffolk Beautiful, and the nonprofit 757 Creative Reuse Center. It's a Fix-It Fair on May 15th at the Western Branch Community Center. The Fix-It Fair is an opportunity for people to bring salvageable items for repair and subsequent reuse. Things like small furniture and appliances, clothing, bicycles, and jewelry. You can schedule an appointment to meet with a fixer at cityofchesapeake.net/fixitfair or call 757-514-7604 for more information. Now be sure to tune in next week because we will be talking to someone from the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department all about this really cool event. So we'll have more for you on that next week. Now today I'm gonna leave you with a really cool story that I love, and it's all about the women in the Waste Management Department. Not something you always expect to see a woman behind the wheel of a big trash truck coming down the street, but they exist and they are awesome. So I'll leave you with this great story now. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay healthy, and I'll see you right back here again next week.
Sometimes I do more like 1,200 cans a day. An average is like maybe 800 to 900, depending on your route and your area, whatever. And also, you know, you're going to help out other drivers on their route, so that can total up to about 1,200 or 1,500 cans. Just making sure that the citizens are happy with our service. You know, try not to have no complaints with our citizens, because we just want to make Chesapeake a better place for our residents and servicing them the best way we can.
Making sure that we have enough people here to make sure we fill the trucks up to get the route done. Making sure that my people, when they're out there working, that they're doing it safely and coming back in safely. We don't know, as the real loaders, how much is out there on the ground. We do the yard waste and you know, people cutting grass and putting out yard waste and small piles every day. So we have a challenge of how far we can get that day, and we'll try to finish that task.
Originally, I was driving tractor trailers, but because of my family dynamic, kind of wanted something more solidified.
Trying to make sure we put the cans back like the resident put them out.
Yeah. Now that stuff there would be a grapple, right?
Yeah, that's a grapple pickup.
And I have a smaller child at home, so more so the schedule here is kind of concrete, so that's what brought me here. And then it gets fun. So right now I'm on the automated truck, which actually empties all of the brown cans. You have a set route that you have to do every day. Sometimes it gets monotonous, so you have to, you know, mix it up a little bit, see how fast you can finish your route. Of course, put safety first, but you know, turn your music up, get the cans up, get your day over. That's it.
Their caliber is definitely dedication, timely operations. They want to be here on time. They want to finish on time. They're family oriented, so how they treat their family at home is also how they treat us. We're together for 10 plus hours. So we've had to learn how to get along and truly appreciate each other's, you know, individuality. Not just that, but there's also our personalities. That alone goes a long way. Which, you know, that's why here we don't have so many tensions. You know, we just know our places, we know what we do, and we just stick to that.
Keep Chesapeake beautiful!
The Chesapeake Fire Department is teaming up with the National Fire Protection Association to promote this year's Fire Prevention Week campaign, Cook Up Fire Safety in the Kitchen. This year's campaign aims to educate everyone on simple but important steps that they can take to protect themselves and those around them. According to the NFPA, cooking is the #1 cause of home fires and home fire injuries in the United States. Almost half of those reported start in the kitchen. 2/3 of cooking fires begin with the ignition of food or other cooking materials. Cooking fires can quickly grow, and I've seen many homes damaged and people injured from fires that were easily preventable. It is our hope that you will embrace this tasty advice and serve up fire safety in the kitchen.
Don't just learn history, live history. At the Great Bridge Battlefield and Waterways Museum, you'll experience life in 18th century Virginia. Discover the water that defined the landscape. Visit a colonial tavern and find yourself in the middle of the Battle of Great Bridge. Your next adventure begins at the Great Bridge Battlefield and Waterways Museum. All COVID-19 safety precautions apply. Go to gbbattlefield.org for more information. Attention Chesapeake residents, the COVID-19 virus is still among us. If it's in the air, it gets in there. Your lungs, ways to beat the pandemic, staying home and avoiding crowds. If out and about, wear a mask to prevent the spread of the virus. Social distancing equals 6 feet apart. Same goes for the workplace. Visit cityofchesapeake.net/COVID-19 or cdc.gov for the facts. The only way to stop this pandemic is for everyone to do their part. Mask up, move forward. This message brought to you by the City That Cares.
Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 58 years old.
This disease just ravages a family.
Contact Bright Focus and learn more.